Hello, hello, everybody. Making sure I have everything turned off. Let me know if you can see and hear me pretty well. I see Day in the house. I see Roxanne in the house. I see Wendy in the house. Yes, Janine is in the house. All good. Okay, thank you so much. Well, guys, today is a sew and chat kind of day, okay? Um, Thank you guys. Today is a sew and chat kind of today. I did release an embroidery video earlier today. I made another mug rug and it is for a special little girl. Now, before we get started on today, I need everybody, especially those who believe in the power of prayer. And if you don't, good vibes, thoughts, and what you do. I need you to extend those over to Donna of Handmade by Ying with Donna. Her and her family are going through a serious health crisis with concerning their granddaughter. And I'm just asking that you all keep them in prayer, okay, and or in good thoughts, okay? So with that being said, your girl decided to do a sew-and chat. Now, I know this is a little bit different from what I normally do on a Monday night, but guys, you remember I did that WIP parade? I got a plethora of quilts that I need to finish, okay? So tonight I wanted to put a binding on this cutie right here. This is a pattern by Sarah Diddy. I do believe the link is in the description box. I do see Susie in the house. Hey, everybody. Let's see if I can do this here. Um, Put that command in. And what I did is if you're interested in this pattern, it is a foundation paper piece and pattern. It is in the description box, okay? Or you can hit that link right there. So we have, let me see, make sure no one else snuck in on me. But yeah, thank you guys so much. Sew and chat is our jam. Yes, and that means you can grab your project and sew right along with me. Okay. Now, if I'm going to be 1,000% honest, well, which I always try to be very honest. If I'm not being honest, I'm just being selective, but I won't lie to you. Not on purpose, no way. Guys, I haven't done a binding in a minute. I haven't done a binding in a minute, and your girl is kind of nervous about this because, especially the binding that I'm going to do tonight. I promised my friend Angel that I was going to try this, sewing it on the front. So the front side will look pretty, as she called it, and then flip it to the back and allow the machine to catch my lip on the back side. What she didn't like was that line that was on the back. Now, see, I didn't mind that line on the back. She said that line is over in Nova Scotia. So I'm trying it this way again. Now, the first time I tried it, the binding came out magnificent, beautiful. Then I tried it a second time, and the binding sucked. So I'm like, oh my goodness, that is horrible. So I said I was going to try it again. So that's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to try it again. I do not start my binding down at a corner. I always start it in the middle, leaving a nice, like nice space in between. I used to mark them, but now I no longer do that. I have this little, I don't know what this little thing is called. They were popular at a time, and I don't see anybody use them. But yeah, she's gonna sit up here and we'll let it catch and do what it do. So I am using a Orfil black thread. I am using a what is this called? Grunge, black grunge for my binding, and I am leaving a tail. I want to leave at least a 10-inch tail. So that's what we're gonna do, and we're gonna get started. So today is Monday. How was your weekend? What did you do? Tell me in the chat. What did you do this weekend? I um your girl had to clean out that deep clean, do a deep clean of the chicken coop, okay? And I've learned that it's not drug my chickens. I don't drug my chickens. What I do is I give them their treat and they'll go and I'll let them go ham in on that treat. I'm talking to them, loving on them, letting them know that, they're everything. And I can't wait for those beautiful eggs that they're going to give me one day. And I'm talking to the girls. So when all that frenzy is done, they'll get a little wild for like about 2 minutes, and then they'll chill. They'll go in a corner. All of them will relax. They're looking at each other. They're being nice to one another. They're all happy. So I waited until they were in that mode of serenity to clean out their chicken coop, okay? I wanted to do a deep, deep clean of their chicken coop because, sometimes the chickens, they get a little nasty, okay? So I'm taking off my seam guide. They get a little nasty, and I'm like, okay, let's clean this out. And I do really good with cleaning out their coop every other day. I don't clean it out. I used to clean it out every day, and I mean, in the beginning, I was like twice a day. I was like, okay, girl, you've been killed yourself. Let's not do that. So I stopped doing that, and I'm waiting to get to my corner, and so now I do it every other day, which is a good balance for us because I have sand in their coop, so I'm scooping the poop like cat litter kind of thing. And they do really, really good. So while they were over there in their little serenity, I'm sitting up there, we're cleaning, and we also added a thermometer so I can make sure the humidity levels are good in there. So I can make sure that that I'm protecting them. Miter in my corner here. Well, while we were doing that, we also changed the way that we have the waterers out there. So while we were out there doing that, one of the chickens decided to come up the little ladder and want to be nosy. And when they do that, we have to be careful because the cats are always out there. And I don't trust them as far as I can see their little butts. They want to they think they're gonna get some chicken nuggets, and I am not gonna have that. What I'm using here is a what is this? A little pad, and what it has like a moss, like a felt almost. What is that called? Moleskin kind of material on the back, and it just helps grip the fabric so I can take some of this off of my shoulder. This is a product again by Sarah Diddy. But yeah, that little joker decided to come up the ladder, and I had to shoo her away. And I'm like, okay, girl, because if any of this poo get on me, me and you gonna fight. I do not need to be swinging a shovel trying to get you to stay inside, on the side of the run and not, flinging poo everywhere. So it was kind of comical because she was like, I'm bad, I'm bad. She was bad until I got that little shovel and I came close to her with it. She was like, "Oh, I'm not that bad." So yeah. Okay, let you guys see what you're saying in the chat. Wendy says, "I'm not a praying person, but I can send good thoughts." Thank you, Wendy. I do appreciate that. You got this, sassy. It's like riding a bike. I hope so, Janine, because honey, I was like, how am I gonna be sewing and chatting on something and definitely hadn't done it in a minute. And honestly, that's another reason why a lot of these projects are sitting because I'm like, okay, I gotta remember how to do this binding. I have to remember. I'm not gonna say it's COVID. I could say, since I'm learning more and more about menopause, I could say, got menopause brain, but I'm not gonna say that either. Something has happened to my memory. Okay, a lot of times find myself having to repeat things over and over again, or make sure I write it down because if I don't, I'm gonna forget it. And I feel bad because I'll be like, I'll be telling my daughter, "Girl, you always forgetting stuff." Well, guess what? I am too. So I have, and things like you think that you should remember. Sometimes it depends on what it is. I can't remember it. Okay, back and back. Now I have but yeah, so that's what I was doing. Hi, Zandra. Thank you so much for coming. She said she celebrated her youngest daughter's birthday this weekend. Oh, Janine said she celebrated her youngest daughter's birthday over the weekend, and she's 23. Oh, I have a 27-year-old. I know they're, girl, we there. Them 20s, they're a mess. Hi, Nancy. Hi, Quilt Queen 22. Thank you guys so much for coming. Praying never hurts anybody, says Monkey Mary. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, and menopause brain is for real. Yes, it is, and the sea fog is for real. And I don't know if it's because I had COVID. I want to say it was last year. What the other year? See, I don't even remember what year it was. If it wasn't, it had to be last year because I went through three primary care doctors within the year. And that doctor, my first doctor that I had, the one I had for years, she left right after I tested positive. It wasn't because I tested positive. That's not why she left. She had a medical emergency and all of a sudden retired because of it. She said, "Give yourself time to heal and adjust. You'll get better." Thank you. Well, honey, I'm 53 now, so I've been in menopause almost 10 years. I started at 42. I was in the hospital when my OBGYN called to tell me my the results of my test because my husband was like, "Oh, wait a minute, you need to go to the doctor because something ain't right." Because you put me through too much stuff. I had to laugh. So we were in the ER, and I said, I knew something was wrong. And she was like, "You tested." She said, "No one in her lifetime as an OBGYN had tested for that menopause." I can't remember the name of that test, but mine was at 101%. As soon as she told me that, my cycle stopped. I hadn't had a cycle since then, praise the Lord. But she called me in her office. She made it seem like I was dying. I thought I was going to, something serious. And how she was telling me, how they bring you in a doctor's, their office and not an exam room. It's serious when they do that. She scared the bejesus out of me. I'm like, what in the world is this all about? And she's all serious, and we can put you on estrogen, and you know, I don't want you to feel bad, and I'm looking at her like, okay, when is my period gonna stop? That's what I need to know, okay? She's like, oh, we have no idea. And I was like, why are you sounding like it's a death sentence? I am happy. And she was like, oh no, because you just don't understand. Oh, I understand. I understand I'm not gonna get a period. That's what I understood. But she was so somber. I was like, what the heck? Am I dying? And then, she was like, I read the report that I was in denial. I don't want no dang on denial, lady. I was happy as I don't know what. I did not want another period. Because at that point, my cycles were lasting like anywhere between 15 to 21 days. I'm like, I am not sad. Do something right now to get me away from this thing. I was tired of paying Kimberly Clark every month. I wasn't doing it. I was not gonna do it anymore. But yeah, so I was like, so yeah, no, this adjustment to it, honey, I've been loving it. But now these effects, like the brain, me not being able to remember certain things, has been kind of embarrassing because I lose my glasses every single day. Every single day. I'm like, I can't find my glasses. I can't find my glasses. And they dare not say, well, where's the last time, place you put them? They dare not say that to me. But yeah. I'm like, I lose them every single day. And then now the biggest thing that I lose now is if it's not my glasses, it's my keys. I will lock myself out the house without my keys. Instead of putting them back in my purse, I put them in my pocket, and it warms up outside and I don't have that jacket on anymore. So I'm like, dang, nabbit. Cause memory loss. Yes. My children are all in their 20s, 29, 26, 25, and 23. Ooh, baby. No, ma'am. I got a 27 and an 18-year-old. They both turned those ages this year. I'm like, whew. And my daughter, she was talking about going to college this weekend for the first time. I'm like, okay, you 18, all of a sudden now you talking about college. I thought you was just gonna get a job. I didn't know what the heck was going on. But no, she wants to go to college, and she doesn't want to start at a community college, which, in my opinion, she really needs to, because if she doesn't like school, I don't need her wasting money going to a big university. But I'm going to let her figure it out for herself, and, just pray her through it, and hopefully it worked for the best, okay? Do you already take a calcium supplement? I do not. And I know the doctor, for the first, well, every time I go, when they check my levels, they tell me not to take anything because my levels are already so high. I hate when they tell, oh, you need to eat a little bit of more red meat, or you need to eat, this or that. And I'm like, you guys tell me that, and then you tell me I'm overweight. Oh, that don't make sense to me. But I'm thinking I still want to take some kind of calcium supplement, and not because I drink a lot of milk. I love milk. But they always tell me Only thing that is off is my blood. I don't have high blood pressure. Only thing that's off is my blood pressure. It won't regulate, and that's because of dealing with POTS and stuff like that. But okay, we're coming to an end. I made sure I had enough binding. Okay, let me take it to, I think I'm gonna stop it right past where this right here. Is it right? Okay. I'll stop it here because what I don't want to do is make it too short. Now, this is the part that I get discombobulated with. So let me take this right here. And what I'm going to do is fold this back. I remember that. Okay, Monkey Mary, you take a calcium supplement. If you take one, let me know what do you take. Hi, Sue GSD. Thank you so much for coming. Peggy Lynn, thank you so much for coming. She said, girl, I feel you. I was in menopause from 45 until I was 57. Okay, this binding strip I made was 2.5 inches. So what I'm going to do is place this strip that I just cut off the end here on top of this one. And oh, wait a minute. I think I need to cut this because if I don't. Now I did see a lady do a binding a different way, and that was with the folded. She marked with the fold. I need to try that before I even start call myself trying to do it on camera. Okay, going 2.5, and then I'm gonna go 1/8 of an inch shy. I'm just making sure that everything is lining up. Okay, that's cut. Now let's see if I can remember how to do this. I want to ball this up. I think what I'm going to do is, I didn't leave enough of a tail on this one side. Let me pin it. Pin it away from me so I will not get stabbed. Yeah. See, this is what I'm talking about right here. But that's okay. I just want to make sure that I'm giving myself enough room. So I'm just going to unpick just a little bit. But that's okay. I'm going to remember how to do this binding. I refuse not to. Okay, I think that's good enough. Okay. You are very lucky with the calcium. I'm supposed to be taking 600 milligram daily, but I confess I don't always. Girl, that's okay. And don't forget about those fun colonoscopy tests. Oh, child. Them suckers. I don't know who made. I'm gonna take some more out. I don't know who decided to make that test, but I'm glad they did. Don't get me wrong. I'm glad they have them, but dang on. And okay, with the VA, they have it's called community care. If they can't get you in to an appointment of a specialty appointment, they will send you outside of the VA. I was stoked about that. I was really happy about that. And I ended up going to this one doctor. And when I tell you, I was like, went in there, there was, he didn't waste any haste. There was really no small talk or anything like that. He came in, he was like, "Oh, so tell me where you're from." And I was like, "Milwaukee." I didn't even get to finish my sentence. And I was out. I was out. And I remember telling my husband he was a jerk. He didn't let me finish my sentence. And he came in. That was the first time I had a colonoscopy that was clear, no polyps. Usually I have anywhere between 2 to 3 polyps. The 3 was the highest polyp count I've had. Um, he came in with a single red rose. I just told my husband, told him you were a jerk because you didn't even let me finish telling you where I was from. But that was the first, and my husband was looking at this man like, "No, you're not giving my wife a rose when I'm sitting right here." That was so funny to look on his face, and I'll tell you, I was drugged, but I was feeling good, and I was smiling all the way home. Now, when I took that test, well, you do all the prep work, I passed out during the prep work because that's it was moving so fast throughout my system that my body was not able to I got dehydrated way too fast. And they were like, "Oh my gosh, we got, they had to be really, really mindful. They kept me until they made sure that I was okay." Bam. I, it came out right, I think. It did. Hallelujah. Yes. It came out right. Let me turn this iron on. I wasn't sure how when I had to do that little twisting motion. I'm like, watch me have to pick this out. But I don't. Praise God. Um, yeah, so he brought that rose into me. I smiled all the way home, and I was so happy that it was no polyps, and because I had strong family history of cancer in our family, and I definitely didn't want that to it to ever come out to be colon cancer and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, ooh, and it didn't have to trim my ends. But yeah, it was an adventurous one. So if I ever had to do it again, well, not if I ever, because I know I am going to have to do it again. I want to make sure I go back to that doctor. I was very, very selective when I chose him. I made sure that I did not want a young doctor. I wanted one who's been in the business at least over 15 years. Um, because now I do understand some of them can be the biggest jerks, but because they've done everything, seen everything, but it was just important to me that I had somebody with experience because my body is funny, and especially someone with experience dealing with somebody with my health issues. And I looked up with this guy. He was very, very kind. Okay. Monkey Mary says that quilt looks beautiful. That's great to hear that the VA do that. Yes, Roxanne, they do that. Monkey Mary, you're from Milwaukee too? All right now. Yes, I am from Milwaukee, Wisconsin, born and raised. Look, on a playground is where I spent most of my days. Clipping threads, and this is probably most likely from when I unstitched the binding. So I'm just picking this thread off right quick. Okay. Now what I do is I iron this binding flat. You know, I take the iron and I go out like that all the way around. So my iron should be warm enough to do that. I'm sorry, I'm about to take a swallow of my Crystal Light. Yeah, so many people do ignore their health. Where's the fabric on the shelf behind you? LOL. Roxanne, good question. um, this weekend we have a quilt store in our area. It's actually 45 minutes away from me that is closing. And I went there not this Saturday, but the Saturday before, this past Saturday. And I was like, well, are you selling the furniture? And she was like, yeah. So I went and, and I told her that I wanted some of her bookcases. And she was like, okay, I'll get back with you. And I was like, oh, okay. No, at that time, I'm sorry. No, at that time I was like, oh, I should have, as we were leaving, I said I should have, went ahead and paid for those bookcases. So what I did was I called later on in the week and she was like, oh, I'll have to see if I have any more of the ones that you want left. And I told her which ones I wanted. Well, the 2 full size and a 1 medium sized one, because she had some a very skinny one as well. And I didn't want that one. And she was like, oh, those are gone. And I was like, oh, okay. So later on in the week, I got a call that all the ones that I wanted they became available. This shirt want to ride up. I know it's a little snug, but it is not that snug where it can't stay down on my back. Okay, it is trying to shame me on YouTube. So we went there this past weekend to get them. So we brought them in, we cleaned them off. I do have fabric and stuff to go on them, but that's the part that I need the most help in, is because I'm not decorator savvy. So of course I want my shelves to look pretty. So I got to figure out how I'm gonna do all of that. Okay. So I'm working through that one. That's gonna be a progress. I did this sew in chat one because I wanted to finish up a project, because like I said, I already released the embroidery video for the week, for today. Okay, I have missed this corner right here. Okay, everything is that out the way, ironed down. Now what I'm going to do is take some acorn seam align glue so I can ensure that this binding stays down and in place while I am stitching it. Now, earlier today, I was getting this glue ready, and I'm telling you, if the devil is not busy today, he is busy today. I'm getting this thing ready. It comes with a little needle, a needle. Well, I went to unclog the needle, and guess what? The needle fell down into the glue, all the way down to the bottom of the glue thing. So, it just was not, it was just not working with me today. So what I have to do now is just press it, and it's supposed to catch hold and seam this glue down. Well, it's supposed to stay down. Let's see if how well it worked. Oh, okay, it worked a little bit. It works a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna work this glue all the way around. Now, could I have used Elmer's school glue? Of course I could have. I ran into the same problem with it. And I had a little tag thing down inside of it so it won't, so it can keep it open. It didn't do it. It closed up and it was too hard to squeeze the bottle. The bottle kept getting too tight. I mean, it's too the glue is too thick to come through there. And that tip is one of those tips from Purple Daisy. I think that's who I got that tip from. And it does not do what it's supposed to do. Hey, Mona. She said, yes, Milwaukee. Where did you go to school? I went to Whitnell High School. Class 8 and 9. And Wisconsin Lutheran. Okay, now I went to Saloa for 7th and 8th grade. But yep, I'm a Milwaukee girl. Okay, now this is the good part because we're coming up on a corner. Okay, so far so good. The glue is holding the seam down, which I like. And let's see here, where is the glue? Mona is asking, are you cleaning shelves or are they new? They're new to me, Mona. I just got them this weekend and I am looking forward to putting stuff on them. I'm looking forward to putting stuff on them. I do not want this glue on my finger. Let's see how we're going to work this out. Okay, the miter works on that end, so I'm supposed to, there it is. I'm about to say, now I know this is supposed to work. But yes, I had just acquired these shelves. I was just telling the ladies, I just acquired the shelves from a quilt shop that was going out of business. And the sad part about it is the place she stays, they weren't renewing the lease, which to me, is horrible. But the fact that, they didn't find another place to continue to operate their business, I was kind of sad by that. It was because, it's another quilt shop, one of one of the better ones because of the customer service was amazing. And I hate that they're closing, but so they're closing we just got a notification that the 28th will be their last day. Okay. And that so it's really, really sad to see them, go. So when people were coming in from the shop hop, there were there were there were so many tears. It was just really sad because we feel that we're losing a part of, our history, ourselves, especially as quilters. Trying to do this whole side and see if I can get it. But yes, I was blessed to find. I've been searching for a good 5-6 months now on Facebook Marketplace trying to find bookshelves, and then the thing is, will I be able to find some that match if I don't get all the ones that I wanted? So, and for me, it was a blessing in disguise because I got the bookcases that I wanted and at just a little over $100, because these shelves on Walmart by themselves right now, they're asking, almost $99 just for, one. And I end up with, three. So I was happy. Mine always clogs. I always have to clean it before each use. Okay. And I was like, why does it keep getting clogged? And I know that, I had the thing that's supposed to stop it from getting clogged, but that didn't work in my favor. It's always that first one. Okay. Get it down. So yes, the binding this way is definitely, this will be my third time doing it, and I'm hoping that it goes the way it did the very first time I did it and fell in love with it. I thought that, that was going to be my way of binding from there on out, but when I tell you, the second time I tried it, and make it so bad, I tried it, I think I did it on a live, and it just sucked. I was like, now how is this thing gonna sit here and embarrass me like that? But I have to realize when you do stuff on a live, I'm gonna tell you, I promise you, it is always on the live that, especially on mine, I'm gonna screw something up. Something is not gonna go the way that I want it to go, okay? And I'm learning it just gotta be okay. It just has to be, it has to be okay. Okay, we are coming on the home stretch. I was really kind of terrified of doing this gluing part. Now I got the gist of it. I'm feeling comfortable with it. I can go a little bit quicker. Hi everyone. Hi Shirley from Ontario, Canada. Thank you so much for coming tonight, Shirley. Appreciate you. Oh, here we go. I forgot I glued this all the way down here. So what I'm doing tonight, guys, I am working on a binding. I hadn't done binding in quite some time, and I haven't done this type of binding where I sew it to the front and flip it over to the back to catch the lip of the binding. Now I could technically do some hand sewing, but I'm gonna tell you right now, the only hand sewing that you will catch me doing is in the form of EPP. And I do have a project, actually a bed quilt that I was working on, that is FPP. So I want to get back to that. And this is what I'm going to be using the Mondays that I put up I put up a video for the embroidery, and I'm going to come and work on my WIP collection, because as you saw in that WIP parade, your girl got a lot of stuff, okay, that she needs to get done. And we all can work on our WIPs together. So this is a chance for all of us to get projects done that either you're currently working on, or that, like me, have to catch up on. I bet so too, Mary. I bet we have too. I was from, because I don't live there now, so I can definitely tell you the street. I was on Port Washington, North Port Washington. So by Capitol Drive, between Capitol and Keith. When I did go home, the last time I've been to Milwaukee was in 21. Yeah, 21. We went in August. We went in August, and yeah, I told them I wasn't coming back. I had to miss nothing. But just like with any town, I'm sure it is. It just depends on where you're going. Depends on where you're going and what part of town you're gonna be in. Cause I'm not the one. I don't do well with a lot of crowds and stuff like that, and especially when it comes to a whole bunch of young people together. I don't do well with it in that scenario at all. Okay, we're on our last corner here. We're about to sew it down. I just want to make sure I got this binding all nice and taut. Yeah, it is sad that they were closing. I hate that. And it was like tears. People were like, they hated, and she didn't, feel any. I think another reason why she didn't invest and try to find another location is because her and her husband are getting up in age, and I'm thinking that has something to do with it as well. And it's sad for me is because there is another local quilt shop which is less than 15 minutes away from me that is also closing. So I have two in my area that are closing, and it's just it's just like a tough blow, a tough blow. Okay, let's see how this is going to the glue. Okay. Okay. This miter didn't miter so well, but it is going to be okay. It's good to. It's hard to find a good deal. Those bookcases look really nice, and they are. The and it was weird because I've never seen a bookcase that had um usually they have a little, just a straight hole for the pegs, but these have inserts and then it's a peg. So they're designed really, that part is designed really, really well. And I'm like, oh, that's nice, but unfortunately, I need more pegs. See, there these type of pegs. I'm not sure if you can see that, but it has, this is the part that the shelf sit on. Wait, yeah, because this goes to the bottom. This is the part, this hole goes into the bottom of the shelf. So I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. So it doesn't have a tendency to slide because it's inserted into the shelf itself. So I need to find some more of those. But okay, we have everything glued down. Everything on the front looks really, really good. Okay, let's get this baby done. Oh, wait a minute. See? I was about to start in a different back on the back because I'm so used to doing it that way. Now I have a stitch in the ditch foot that I want to change over to so I can try my best to stay in this ditch. Currently I was using I believe it was a 97D foot. I'm switching over to the 10D foot. And I'm putting my dual feed on and changing out the presser foot. Okay, I have it set. I'm gonna drop that needle and we're gonna go a little bit slow. Let's see what the chat is saying. I'm working on a binding less quilt right now. Just keeping it real, right, Janine? Keeping it real. Let's give Sassy a thumbs up. Thank you guys so much. I do appreciate it. Monkey Berry says my guy grew up there. He went to Sherwood, which was right around the corner. Your embroidered mug rug, I think she is going to love it. Thank you so much, Roxanne. He went to Cops on Port Road. Girl, that was some good burgers. Oh my gosh. When we went back home, that's what we had were those burgers. Oh my gosh. When we were younger, those burgers were the size of a saucer. Oh my gosh, they were so good. And when we went back home, we as soon as we got off the road, we all met up. Not all of us, just my nieces and I, with the family and stuff. And we were hungry, so we went to Cops, and it was so good. It was so good, and they had the ice cream was amazing too. He lived in Whitefish Bay. Yep. And Roxanne said, "Yeah." She said, I got to drive almost 2 hours just to get fabric. Right? That is crazy. Nothing around me but a Walmart. But she do order a lot from the Soya Brothers out in Vegas. Yes, I very much know who they are. Well, a year or so ago, I used to go ham with them. And then I had to slow down because I found myself too addicted. Too addicted. Do I remember Echo Bowl? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Oh my gosh. Yes, I do. And Pasquale's Pizza. Yes, ma'am. And in fact, on my honeymoon, well, when I finally took a honeymoon with my husband and I finally took our honeymoon, we got married in '09. We renewed our vows in 19. And that is when we took our first honeymoon. And so when we took our honeymoon, we went to Duck, North Carolina. And at that time, really nothing was open. So it was kind of like, dang, there's nothing really here, but we really enjoyed ourselves. And when I tell you, I saw a Pasquale's Pizza, I, I scared the poo out of my husband because I screamed. I was like, turn around. He was like, what is wrong with you? And I couldn't wait to go in there and share that, I wanted to know were they, affiliated with the Pasquales that used to be in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They said, they have a chain of them, so, they're really not truly connected, but I was really hoping that they were. Because our Pasquale's had closed down a while ago, long while ago, but now it's more like Ned's Pizza. And I'm sure they got the other chains and stuff there, or Rocky Rococo's. Now that was that was my jam. Okay, now I do know because I remember the last time I did this, I wasn't catching the fold of the binding right here, that the miter corner piece. So I remember I have to go into 1, 2, just to catch it, and then go back, and then I can lift my press with my presser foot and then come back down in the ditch, and we'll see how that worked. If not, I'll just be hand closing it. Okay, and right now we're just trying to stay in that ditch as best as I can, seeing that I am using black. But yes, and we had the Palace roller skating rink. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm gonna tell you guys right now. My mom she did not abuse us, but we did get our butts whooped. Okay, okay. Now that you understand that, the Palace was a roller skating rink, and they had at times what they called all night skate. You know where I'm going with this, right? Okay. So my nephew and my nieces thought it would be a good idea to go to the all night skate. Well, with the all night skate, they lock you in there and you cannot come out. I just looked and I see some basting stitches that I'm gonna end up pulling out when it's all done. Yeah, we took all of the bad butts out there and went, and we told the guy, we can't stay overnight. We gotta go home. We're gonna be in trouble. So the guy had pity on us because we lived literally down the street. And this is when we were safe then, because it was still like 1, 2, 3, 4.5 blocks away. And we were out here walking after midnight, 4 children under, small teenagers, like 10, was 10. I was 10, my nephew was 11, and my niece and my other 2 nieces were 9 and 8, and we snuck out the house. We snuck out the house, and when I tell you, the guy let us out. He had pity on us. He let us out, and he was like, well, it's on you. They at that point in time, they weren't asking, parent, you had to come in with a parent. It wasn't even like that. And when I tell you, my bedroom was on the 2nd floor. We climbed out the window. When we brought our butts back in that house, I'm gonna tell you, we climbed up that window. We thought we were safe. 1, 2, 1, 2. We thought we were safe, and when the last one of us was out that window, we was giggling. We thought we was up there laughing. And next thing I know, that light switch came on, and my mama was standing there with a belt. We were in trouble. Do you hear me? She was like, do you know? And I broke thread. Do you know what you did? And we were like, oh man. Of course, we was trying to plead our case. We pleaded it right to a good butt whooping. But oh my gosh, it was so funny. Oh my God. Now it's funny. It wasn't funny then. But I'm gonna tell you, that was the last time I snuck out the house. I snuck out the house. Now my nieces and nephews, they was bad. They didn't care. No butt whooping didn't mean nothing to them. They kept on doing it. I learned my lesson that day. I'm like, no, I ain't the one to keep getting hit. They got a beating every time they tried that mess, and I was like, no, I'm not the one. I can't do it. My butt is not made like theirs. They can take that abuse. I couldn't do it, but they did it. They kept on doing it. It was not for me. Well, she said never had that piece. And she said I was listening while napping. I took a very long nap. That's okay, Amy. Thank you so much for coming. But oh yes, I remember them all night. Where were you going? We went to the rolling rink. It was called the Palace. Oh my goodness, it was the Palace roller rink out on Port Washington and Capitol. Honey, when I tell you, I think it's a bank there now. U.S. Bank, I think it's called. I can't remember the name of that bank that's there now. But it was right there on the corner. Oh my gracious, when I tell you. And then I hated when she would whoop us because she's like, I'm doing this because I love you. You don't love me whooping me like that. That was the whooping that we got, was the one that you thought about that sucker every time you sat down. My mom did not play. You will not be disobedient in her house. But did you think my nieces and nephew learned a lesson? No, because they kept on sneaking out. They were clubbing. I mean, when I went to the military and came back, I was still scared. Okay, I did not play with my mother. And it was one night. I was adult. I want to say, well, I had Asley, that's for sure. And I decided that I wanted to go out with my nieces because they were always talking about, going to the club and how much fun they had. And I wanted to see what, all this clubbing, was about and all the fun they had. I wanted to see for myself. And when I tell you I came home to my mother who had my insurance policy pulled out because she knew that was her baby was just gonna die out there. And I was like, dang on, mom, what in the world? But she was like, cause this is definitely outside of your norm. And because I scared her so much, and honestly, the club scared me that much too. I never went back. I never went out again after that to a club. One, I don't like being looked at like I was a slice of beef. I don't like that. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like the way that the men made me feel as if I was a property or up for the highest bidder kind of thing. Now, mind you, I probably was dressed that way too. I'm not gonna lie. I had on some Daisy Dukes, and my brother's friend, his name was Ben. He passed away last year. We used to talk about those girls that went out dressed like that and all that kind of stuff. And then I turned around to do it. He stopped talking to me. He was like, "No, you cannot go out like that. And if you go out like that, don't come back. Don't come back talking to me." And I was like, "I know you're telling us we're not gonna stop being friends because I dressed in some Daisy Dukes. It was just the morals. It was morals." And I learned right then and there that I was showing to the world that I had to me. I'm talking about me now, that I did not have the respect for myself. And I told my nieces I never want to go out with you guys again. And to this day I never have. But did I have fun? Really no, because when we left the parking lot, somebody started shooting. And I was like, well, if you just, Lord, if you just let me get home, let us get home, I promise I'm never going out with them again. But they loved it. They was like, oh, that was so much fun. Oh, no, it was no fun for me dodging bullets. That's not what we do. But to this day, they still like going out and clubbing and all that kind of stuff. That's so not me. Hey, Brenda. Oh yes, my late husband lived off of 48th and Capitol. He used to go to that rink. Yep. He went to Rufus King. My brothers and sisters all graduated from Rufus King. Yep. We got to talk. I got to know what year you graduated. I don't know what year none of them graduated, but I got to find. Well, I can find out. Okay, I think I am finished. What? Okay. Now I can tell you on some spots I did hit the top of the binding, and I'm okay with that. And on very little spots that I hit the little bit more of the white than I should have. Like I'm looking at this corner right here. I came out just a little bit um, to the left of the binding. Now, because I used a 2.5 inch binding, I'm not a fan of this big lip that's on the back. But that's okay. Now see that I wouldn't have that lip on the back if I would have done it to the front, because I would have been stitching close to this edge on the front. You know what I mean? So I think that's just going to be a given with this kind of way of doing the binding. Hi, Karen. Hope you're doing good tonight. I am, Karen. Thank you so much. And everyone is saying it is beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. So what I'm doing is just trimming these threads so I can have at it. And what I'm going to do is do a heat and bond label to go on the back, because I did not make it earlier today. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make it and put it in the lower right corner, which I usually put all of my labels. So that is what I'm doing, trimming the little threads that are loose. Guys, today was a fun chat. I was going back down memory lane. I like that. I do see where if this was ever in a show or whatever, that how I might have to take this binding off, because it went from, I don't know if you can see it, it went from fat right here and then it got skinnier right here, and then it went back to being wide. So either I didn't pull it enough, but it is all the way to the edge. It's full. No, it's not. It's right here. It's a little give here and right there. So I will have to watch that going around the next time, because I wasn't paying, I didn't pay attention to that when I was bringing it down. But yeah, other than that, everything looks good. Let's see here. Everything looks good. I see a piece that I need to trim here. And again, there is some basting thread that I will go in and pick out later before I hang it on our wall. And then that's it right there. And the Bible verse is Genesis 9:13 through 16. So guess what? I get to take this off of my WIP list. I am super duper happy about that because I can always write on here in a black Sharpie if I don't do the label, but I will do the label and put it on here. So, yeah, one thing out of 20 something done. It is done. I hope you guys get a project done this week as well, okay? So, yes, Brenda said, must go back to sleep. Night, night, girl. We all about to go to sleep, child. And so, guys, I thank you so much for joining me on tonight. You guys listen to me go back down memory lane. I really enjoyed that. Um, and I really enjoyed the fact that I decided to jump up and do this binding on today to give it another try. I'm going to let my friend Angel know, girl, I did it, and let her tell me what, I can work on for this binding. So I hope to see you guys tomorrow. I will be coming with another long arm project. I believe I will be working on the harvest delivery project, but I am not 100% sure. So until I see you guys tomorrow, talk to you later. Bye.